And it's very common, my love, that we want to help others because of our own wounding. Yet in the beginning, our own wounding is still motivating the very thing that we want to do. Like it's not specific to you or anything that you're doing wrong or anything like that. I feel like it's a common human thread. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hello, my loves. Welcome to the show today. I have a couple of announcements before we dive into our call today. I wanted to share, you may have noticed already that another episode is dropping on Fridays. This episode is the return of Magical Moments, which we used to do, a couple years ago. And we're coming up on the 4-year anniversary of the podcast. And in devotion to that, I wanted to add in some extra episodes. These episodes are ones where I just talk about a topic, something that comes in from our community, from clients, from friends, things where people are looking for information, right? That you would like teaching around, that you want to understand more deeply about intuition, the spiritual journey, why we're here, our soul's expansion, so many good things. And of course, for me, right, always from this perspective of embodied intuition, because I really do love to honor our humanness and the fact that we chose this body, this lifetime, and how do we make the most of it? So you'll start seeing those episodes. Please check them out. I would love to hear from you. If you have anything that you would like me to riff on, you can reach out to me. There's links in the show notes, how to contact us. And also, just a reminder that I have created a lot of self-study programs that are really designed to help you on this journey of developing your intuition and getting in touch with what is your authentic truth, really living out this human experience. And so those self-studies are full of meditations, journeys, self-inquiry practices, ceremonies, rituals, so many things that have really nurtured me and deepened my journey, developed my gifts, and really given me a sense of purpose in the world. So now I want to share those teachings, those tools, those practices with you. And you can find all those in our self-study library on our website. There's links in the show notes for those. So thank you for tuning in. For our call today, Christina is here with us. And Christina is bumping up against some repetitive patterns. And one of the ones that we dive into is either or, and how so many of us do this, right? Where we limit ourselves by saying, I can have this or I can have this, but I can't possibly have both of these things. And many years ago, I stopped using the word but, and now I exclusively use the word and. And what this does is it changes the frequency, right, of either or, because we can have both and. And I tend to not lean into it necessarily, right, in more of an egotistical or monetary way. But either or for me is about the way that we tell ourselves we don't have time or we don't have the resources or we can't put ourselves first and honor other people. And we can't find time for ourselves and for others. Ways that really nourish us, right? The ways that we tend to separate from our internal landscape by either oring ourselves. So this call dives into that. And we also really look at this place in either or of supporting others versus showing up for yourself. And how so many of us are caught in people pleasing and we're caught in a repetitive program where we are not honoring ourselves, where we're not putting ourselves first, where we are choosing others and their happiness over ours. We're choosing their well-being over ours. And it perpetuates separateness. It perpetuates disempowerment. It perpetuates the inability to connect with your intuition. It perpetuates the illusion and the delusion of the world that we live in today, because we are essentially saying that we don't matter and that we don't count and that we're not important. And therefore, we are allowing ourselves to buy into the story that is really debilitating humanity at the moment. And what I want to inspire in you is the remembering of how much you play a part in the interconnectedness of all of life. That while we are important, we also get to recognize that that importance is threaded through everything. And this is why you're important, because the whole ecosystem depends on each being doing its part. So think about these things, right? As you listen to this call, where do you think that you are disappointing others? Where are you looking for approval? Where are you minimizing yourself in places where you need to have a voice and you need to show up fully for your life, for your purpose, for your dharma? Enjoy the call. Hi, Christina. Welcome to the show. How can I help you today?
Wonderful. I'm so excited to be here. I've been struggling with breaking generational curses and personal cycles that need narcissism, falling into relationships that are not in alignment with who I am, and always finding myself in a survival mode. I'm learning my gifts. I'm learning to transmute energy through my artwork and my poetry, but still don't really know exactly what my gifts are and how to utilize them to help and align with others in my business for this deeper purpose that I know I'm here for. I'm grieving the loss of my father and what I believed to have been a twin flame relationship, and the patterns that come along with that loss and the grief. And I feel like I'm getting caught in between doing these deep dive searches and soul work versus taking a step forward in my businesses. And I just wonder sometimes if I'm focusing on too much healing and holding myself back, or is this chapter over yet? How can I release these patterns and get out of this survival mode? And I just am searching for any kind of guidance that I can get in any form or fashion.
Thank you. So as you're talking, there is so much love surrounding you. Like, I see this paintbrush, and the paintbrush is drawing hearts and coloring them in. And it's this really beautiful sort of kaleidoscope of hearts and love and colors, and this sense that coming from the other side, there is an incredible amount of love and support flowing to you at the moment. So I want to share that with you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't doubt that. Okay. Lean into it. Know it is there for you. Even if at times you can't feel it, I can see it. Like, it's all around you.
Oh, yes. It's like I know it's all there. I can feel it. I feel it often. I forget that it's there, or I am overwhelmed and not paying attention to the right things, I feel.
Yeah. So when I look like at you, right, and I check in on you as with your question, and what I feel, what I see is my low back is hurting. There's a lock, like kind of intricate lock that goes around the back of your spine and over your second chakra. And I get the sensation that I'm grinding my teeth. Like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm so nervous and teeth grinding and kind of on edge. So, how do you relate to those sensations in your own life?
I relate to all of those sensations 99.9 times of the day. Well, I do tend to grind or clench my teeth. My back is always in massive pain, especially up here in the north where it's cold. But I also had major back surgery at 28 and I'm 45. But my spine is fusing together on its own in three different places at the wrong curvature. But there's a part of me that knows and believes that we can heal ourselves, our body can heal itself. And I need to allow myself to open up. And yes, intricate locks are kind of a little fascination of mine. And I have built walls and locks around my entire being right out of the womb, if not before then.
Yeah, when you were talking, one of the things that stands out was in your question is this part of you that is on this healing journey and then is maybe questioning if you're going too far, or if you need to stop and then focus on your business and that kind of thing. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yes.
So, in my experience, they are not separate. It's not something that you get to do either or. There may be other people that would tell you differently. Yet you're here with me, and my experience is that they are very connected. And that the deeper you are willing to go on this journey into the darkness, right? To start unpicking those locks and rewriting your history. This has a direct correlation to what you are here to do in the world. Your karma, right? That you came in with, these things that have happened, leads you to your dharma. And it is in the unraveling and the unpicking of the locks that you will be able to live out your purpose, your dharma that you are here to serve in the world.
Mm. So I feel that I need to learn how to hold space for both at the same time and show up for myself. Something I've never really done. I think I show up for other people more than myself, and I'm trying. I like to go to the depths in the darkness and sit there and pick it apart. But I think I'm just scratching the surface with what I'm doing personally. But knowing that and hearing confirmation of that helps greatly.
Well, how much of your time, like when you say you give to others, or you show up for others rather than yourself, what percentage of your time would you say you're doing that?
Oh, usually 100%. Lately, sometimes I wonder if I even show up for anyone. I kind of squirrel off into my own little world, journaling or working on different projects. And then I feel torn between so many different directions and being pulled by what my mother needs, what my aunt needs, expectations, guilt. And then it's almost to the point that it's that freeze zone. It's not even fight or flight anymore. I'm just frozen and I end up not doing anything. And then I get angry at myself for that.
Yeah, so you're just caught, right, in this cycle, in this spiral.
Hmm.
What is the risk if you were to tell your mother no or your aunt no?
No risk, really. Disappointment, frustration from them. And then the disappointment pulls frustration out of me and guilt. I just feel like I'm being spread too thin sometimes. And I do that to myself. And I'm learning very, very slowly how to put things on my calendar, but then take them off in the beginning of the week, kind of reflect on what I want to focus on and what tasks really need to be done, on what can be deferred or outsourced or just not done at all. Financial concerns have been a big thing of late, just helping my mom out financially, and then my business, just trying to get back up to where I'm not just surviving. And I just focus on too many different things, and I feel like not the right thing sometimes. But I feel like I'm focusing on all these different things because I feel the need to get something right now, whether it be money to pay a bill or appeasing my mother or being there for family. And I pretty much cut the rest of them off. It's only my aunt and my mom now. I just refuse to be around any negative or demonic entities of any kind anymore.
Mhm. Well, there's an interesting thing that happens, right? When we sort of, and the word that's here is obligated to give to somebody because we're fearing their response or their reaction to us. And so I asked you what was the risk, and maybe it was just the way that I said it that didn't resonate with you. So in that place, you're sitting here depleted, anxious, in pain, wanting to do it differently. And yet you are not at the place yet where you could tell your mother and your aunt that you can't show up for them, right? Like you're more conditioned to show up for them, even though you are so depleted. Right in there, that's the place I'm interested in because there is an inherent risk to your survival playing out. Because otherwise, you could maybe say, hey, mom, I need some time over the next month. I've got to go inward. I can't support you. I need you to find some other resources. I'm just going to go dark for a little bit. And I love you, and I'll see you on the other side.
The funny thing is she has supported my spiritual journeys that I want to go on quite well. And I talk to her about everything. I wish that she would go on her own and do the work, but her generation that's just not how she was raised. And I want to break that cycle of not talking about things. And I feel like I could actually tell her that and tell her I need to focus on me and then actually do it, focus on me. Going and doing the inner work and doing the back end work for my company and coming out of this so much stronger. I don't know why I'm crying.
Just energy moving, love.
I don't want to disappoint anyone.
Mm.
And I feel like that's all I do.
What does disappointing others mean to you? Like, what happens if you disappoint somebody?
If I dig into that and I feel that by disappointing others, it's, oh gosh, there's so much there. I can't even, I thought I had the words and they flew away. It's that I'm not good enough. This is what it comes down to. If I disappoint them, I don't deserve happiness or all the good things that I know are waiting for me if I would just make the right choices. But what are the right choices?
And it sounds like the right choices are dependent on you giving something to somebody else so that maybe they can tell you that you made the right choice. Like their approval of you makes you feel that you made the right choice.
I think I've always in some way sought the approval of my father, that's what it all comes down to. I was a wild child and just to get his attention, but his attention always came with strings. And I have projected that in pretty much every other relationship I've ever had. In my love relationships, intimate relationships, like I'm always scared I'm going to lose their love if I take care of myself first.
Yeah, it's hard when we don't have a father figure that teaches us how to move through the world, how to feel safe, secure, and loved. And that allows us, right, to be our own authentic expression.
Right. And that's my biggest goal. I'm just trying to really share my story of trauma so that other people don't make the same mistakes that I do or know that they're not alone. I feel that my story is more than worth telling. I know it's going to help somebody. It already has. And I'm passionate about that. And it's going to upset a lot of people when they hear it. And they're going to have a lot to say. And I say I don't care, but I'm sitting here crying about it too.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, right? Given that you don't really want to disappoint people and that you really would love their approval. Like you're caught in that dynamic.
And I'm wanting approval from a man that's dead now. So what sense does that make?
Well, it makes a lot of sense, my love. They're very, very tender parts of us, right? When we're a child, our whole existence is around being loved, being seen, being heard, being kept safe, having attention paid to us. This is how we develop into a healthy adult. And unfortunately, not very many of us get that.
Somebody said something to me a few weeks back, almost a month ago maybe, and about an example of a healthy relationship. And I don't know very many people that have ever had an example of a truly aligned and healthy relationship. I know I haven't. I have one couple in my lifetime even begin to resemble that. And I'm grateful that they're a part of my life, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what it looks like. So, how do you have a relationship with someone and it be healthy if you don't even know how to do that or what it looks like, especially with yourself?
And yet you're learning, right? If you were to reflect back on who you were 5 years ago, I imagine you're a lot healthier now.
Oh, 100%. I'm better today than I was 2 days ago or 6 months ago. I'm a completely different person, and, I know I'm better for that, and thank you for saying that because it takes me to realize that I don't give myself enough credit, and I don't turn to myself to see how far I've actually come in my own journey to date.
Yeah. And that's how you become healthy, right? Is one step at a time, one layer at a time. You're seeking it and you will find it. You will learn, right? It's not something that we're taught to do. And so most of us tend to have to learn it as an adult. And you can. And you're so committed to this journey that I have no doubt that you will.
Yeah, that is one commitment I am not falling shy of. I don't wanna make these same mistakes, and I wanna know what makes people tick and make the decisions that they make, and I have to start with myself, and listening to your podcast for so long, we can't help others until we go into our own depths, and I 100% feel that.
It was something that you said that they're bringing me back around to. Give me a sec. So it's related to your dad, right? And saying, still trying to get approval from him, even though he's not here anymore. And then the piece of you that wants to share your story. So what I feel in there, right, is still this pattern of wanting to share your story and help others because then you will be good enough. Then you won't disappoint people and you'll be approved of. So that's threaded through there, my love.
That can't be the reason.
Well, it's a very primal part of you, right? And I'm not saying this to make you wrong or anything like that. It's to shine a light on a place that you're going to bump up against And in order to bring your business forward, that you can clean that up, and that's going to help with your business, right? Because the place that you get to share your story from is from your strength, from your resilience, from the journey that you've walked. And it doesn't really matter how it lands for anybody except you.
Exactly. But to come from a place of looking for acceptance through that isn't the right way to do that.
That's going to perpetuate this wound.
Okay. Good to know. And I would not have copied it to that thread specifically at all, which is so weird. But I feel it now that there's light on it. I feel it.
Mhm. And it's very common, my love, that we want to help others because of our own wounding. Yet in the beginning, our own wounding is still motivating the very thing that we want to do. Like it's not specific to you or anything that you're doing wrong or anything like that. I feel like it's a common human thread.
Right. I had somebody say something to me a couple of weeks ago because I very adamantly stated that I was not going to go into 2025 with these repetitive patterns or doing this or doing that. And what I ended up doing was just that because I put so much power and weight behind the determination of not doing it instead of looking at it from a different angle or perception.
Well, so in that place, right? So my understanding of why that happens, right? You're like, I'm not doing it. And then you're doing it. The reason you're doing it is it's a compulsion that's created from a survival mechanism. So you have been doing it because there's a part of your system that needs to feel safe. Like, even though you don't want to be doing it, part of you is like, oh, don't give that up. What do you mean? That's like my invisible cloak that I hide under. You can't take that away from me. Are you crazy? No. And so it's going to actually fight harder and you're going to do it more. And so the freedom from that, right, is meeting that part of you. It's not trying to rip the cloak off. It's like saying, hey, can I get under that cloak with you? Let's chat. I don't want to do this anymore. Why are you doing it? Let's work on this together. But the idea that we can just make those parts go away or stop doing what they're doing without examining them or like hearing what they're saying or working with them energetically, I think it just creates more fuel on the fire. They dig their heels in.
That's exactly what I do. So I can only imagine my inner child digging in even deeper.
Mhm. Yeah, that part of you is not concerned with your happiness. It's not concerned with how much money you make. It's not concerned with how much good you do in the world. It is only concerned that you stay alive.
And in their eyes, safe from, even if it is, we find safety in those repetitive patterns or the darkness or the depression or whatever it may be, when in reality, that's not where we should be. Oh, wow.
Yeah, was there something you wanted to say?
No, it's just profound, everything. You unearthed more than I thought.
Well, you were ready.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Mhm. Yeah, I see you, right? Like you're in the cauldron. You are being stirred and cooked and shredded and all the things, right? So, what I've experienced, right? Like so many of us think, oh, I'm going to go on this spiritual journey because it's going to make me feel better. And I'm going to dig into all my trauma and my wounding because I'm going to feel great. That takes a while. I found that I actually felt worse a lot of the time because you're dredging through the trash. You're pulling in things from other lifetimes, from your epigenetics. You're reworking your relationships with parents and other people in your life. And you're stirring up all the mud at the bottom, right? And it gets cloudy and a little panicky, and you can't see where you're going. And I feel that we learn who we are inside that place. We don't learn who we are if we're sitting on the beach and it's all sunny and nice and everybody's laughing and it's happy. It's in that murky water where we're a little terrified that we really find who we are.
I believe that 100%. Spiritual awakenings are wretched.
Mm-hmm.
They're horribly painful and but so beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, you're bringing me to your throat and the importance, right, as you are moving through this time, that it's about your voice and that you learn to say what you are feeling, what you are thinking, what you need, right? You clamp that down because of this fear of disappointing others and needing their approval. And ultimately, sweetheart, the only person that you should be concerned about is you. Are you disappointing yourself? And are you disapproving of yourself? It's like they're saying, like, that's the criteria. You get to ask that question. And then everything else for now, not important. Let other people have their feelings. Let them have their experiences. If they're mad, so what? That's not your business. Are you mad? Well, that's your business.
Yeah, I feel that. I think I put on that outfit or that cloak that I do that, but I don't all the time, not inwardly. And that's where I'm trying to truly align with myself and be authentic in my voice. And I can't be that until I unearth all of that and peel back the onion layers.
Well, like when you say that, to me, I feel this like either or. Like you're like, well, until I get there, then I can't be authentic and I can't have my voice. And maybe I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, but it feels like, again, where you're going in these two directions, like, well, until I unearth it all, I can't actually be authentic.
And I need to stop that. I think that's one of these thought processes that I feel like I have to have. And I didn't realize how often I said anything that made it sound that I can either have this or I can have that. And thank you for that. Cause like I know I've already started sharing my story. I've already been authentic in my relationships more so than ever, sharing things that I've never shared with anyone. I'm sharing with, I feel, the right people as I am called to do so. But yet in my mind, how I word things, it's like I can either have this or I can have that. I can't have them both. And that's just a thought or process or repetitive something or another, for lack of better words, that needs to be rewritten within myself. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just a way we limit ourselves, right? And we put what we want outside of our reach by saying, well, I got to go do all this work before I can have that. And it's like, well, I'd like to reflect to you that you already are uncovering your authentic voice. It's not something that is outside of your reach. It is something that is happening alongside your deep diving into your darkness, right?
And I feel like that's where I'm not giving myself the credit that I deserve to how far I've actually come. Somewhere I don't feel that I deserve that. It doesn't make any sense to me because I already know that I do, but yet I keep speaking it in such a way that it is that either or. And I feel like I've touched on that. I've more than scratched the surface, but I still have a little ways to go on that one.
Yeah. So it feels like it could be a potent practice, right? To play with that part. And every day before you go to bed, write down all the things, kind of like, oh, look at all the things I did today. And not from the perspective of like, oh, I sent out my newsletter or, oh, I recorded an interview or whatever the things are that you do, right? More from the perspective of, wow, I was really kind to myself while I was having breakfast this morning. Wow, I did that exercise that really helped liberate my voice, and I was really scared to do it, and yet I did it anyway. things that are like more inherent in your being, things where you are recognizing and acknowledging, right, this part of you that is evolving and progressing.
I love that. Yeah, I try to write down, and I haven't been good with this practice of late, but 3 successes of every day. But I focus it towards business, not personal awareness.
Mm-hmm. Could help you see something different.
Absolutely. I love that. I have to take notes or I'm going to forget. I
Well, how can I support you from here?
don't know. I need to talk to you every day.
We can arrange that.
Oh my goodness. Are there any other practices besides the writing down from what I did for myself that maybe would help me gain some focus or clarity?
Hmm. Yeah, I can give you some things. Have you done? I have a free guide called Ignite Your Intuition. Have you done that?
I have signed up for it. I did not finish it or start it yet, I think.
Okay, that can be really helpful because it has a workbook practice where you are writing down the things that you're tolerating and choosing instead of what you really want to be doing. So that can really shed a lot of light on these places, with the either or, how you didn't realize, like it shines the light on those kind of things. The other thing that I'm thinking of is it's a practice called polarizing. And it's where you take the parts of you that you want to wish away, that you wish you could just throw in the trash and they wouldn't come back. And you sit with them and you discover why these are actually the most amazing parts of you,
I like that. Okay. I've heard of polarizing before. I have not actually practiced that yet.
right? You look at, well, what is this part actually creating for you? What is it trying to do that it's just misguided? And it's taking me in this direction because the disappointment is one of the words that's coming up. And the part of you that so steadfastly shows up for everyone else, really dive deep into those and get curious about the greatness of this part and how you can just realign it and tweak it a little bit so it's actually supporting you instead of taking you in the wrong direction.
Hmm. I do. I love that.
And does this feel like an okay place to land today?
It does. It really does. I feel like there's so many different things that you've brought to my attention that I wouldn't have otherwise noticed or found. Definitely not on my own.
Yeah, this is the beauty, right, of how we reflect each other and how we help each other see into the darkness.
If I could hug you right now, I totally would.
Virtual hug. All right, my love. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah.